Yeah, I mean, I expect Mo to do what she does best. She's been in this league for a long time. She's a good, active defender, elite communicator on the defensive end of the floor. We need her to rebound. We need her to be a hard diver, make things happen on the interior for us. Be a star in her role, and she's done that. That's why she's stuck in this league, and she brings us size and physicality that we only had in the past with AB. So that's going to be really good for us. This will be her first action back after her ankle, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm glad that she gets to come home and get on the floor.
Chloe, then
Minutes restriction?
What's that?
Minutes restriction for Clark,
For who?
Clark or Boston?
Oh, nothing for Caitlin. Aliyah will be, I think, 25 to 30.
obviously defense has been a big focus, especially after the season opener. Just what specifically against Los Angeles do you guys think you need to do tonight?
Well, transition defense has to be better. Really doesn't matter who we're playing. That's got to be better. And our ball screen defense has to be better. I mean, when you look at where we've been throughout the course of preseason and in that first game, those are the two areas that we really need to tighten up on.
Hey, Coach. Just over the last couple of seasons, how have you seen the chemistry develop between Caitlin and Aliyah, and Lexi, and even Kelsey, as far as being able to grow and learn and be able to set the tone in the locker room where you guys can execute that on the floor and be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still growing. You know, it's when you think about Caitlin and Aliyah, you know, they really had a natural symmetry with the point guard and post player. And then with Caitlin and Kelsey, it's trying to figure out how you've got two ball dominant players that can get their shots. And, you know, I thought their year one together, you know, they figured it out. You know, they were a team that was thrown into a crazy schedule to start the season. They figured it out. They realized and recognized each other's strengths and weaknesses. And, you know, all of them had career numbers, you know, because of that. And then a year ago, you know, Kelsey and AB were both thrown into different types of roles without Caitlin on the floor. And so you saw their ability to really put our team on their back. And, you know, now you get Caitlin back and there's an adjustment period again, trying to figure out, you know, where everybody gets their looks and how we get the best looks on the floor, utilizing each one of their strengths.
Coach, you just kind of alluded to this with Aliyah, Caitlin, and Kelsey, as dynamic as they are with the ball and as dynamic as they are scoring the ball. How do you have to manage ensuring that the ball is spread out enough to where you guys can flow, but also put pressure on the Sparks?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're real intentional about bringing awareness to it in the film, in practice. You know, we show them the numbers. You know, when we get multiple ball reversals, when we get multiple paint touches, we get higher percentage looks. And, you know, how can we and they on the floor manipulate defense to get what we want? And it takes ball movement and player movement. You know, each of them have the ability to create one-on-one. And certainly we want them to do that, but we'd like for that to be at the end of the shot clock instead of the beginning of the shot clock, unless they've got a high percentage look. You know, shot quality matters, and so really just honing in on that and being real intentional about that in practice.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. How you doing, Coach? My question for you is, sorry, I'm drawing a little blank. My question is, we know your team can score, right? Scored over 100 that first game. What do you see? What do you want to see from them defensively, so that you know you can pick up a victory, hopefully?
I want to see just transition defense. We got to get matched up. Got to find near man, and I want to see our ball screen defense continue to improve.
Last question then. Sorry, making you run.
I think I can hear you. It's fine.
Over the screens?
Yes.
Hey,
I got kids. I can.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, we know about Caitlin scoring, and Coach Lynn Roberts has just lauded her passing vision. Where do you envision her game taking that next step this season, considering, you know, last season she only played 13 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think she has a lot of room for growth. You know, really managing the game. You know, managing, you know, where we get her teammates on the floor and how we get them looks, managing the way to manipulate the defense to get what you want. You know, I think she's going to continue to improve, and you've already seen it in her ability to get to the rim. You know, I keep telling her that we're going to add a post-up game too, because she's got really great size, and she's got great touch around the rim. And, you know, if she can add that, then being a facilitator from that position on the floor is another area. But the biggest thing we're challenging her on this year is to play, inline to inline across the floor. In college, it was mostly lane line to lane line. Last year we wanted it to be free throw line extended to free throw line extended. So we really want to move her around the floor a lot more. And we want to try to ease up the burden that she has bringing the ball down the floor, 94 feet against pressure all game long.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.